Welcome back. So now I'm going to explain how to explore this Scrum board. So when you create sprint, you will land on this page, but you can still click on the backlog to come back to this screen, which we have did in the last lecture. So this is the backlog and which are yet to be implemented, and this is your current sprint which is going on now. Okay, and here are the stories which you are committed, and you can go to active sprints tab, so that here you can see that right now all these are in to do status. Okay, they are yet to implement. Now when we see here as in progress, that means when someone started picking it, then they will move that to in progress. Okay, right now you can see that description about login page. This is one user story. So let's say that I picked to develop this, or anyone. So in that case we will move this task to in progress. Okay, so everyone can open this active sprint board and see that what's happening here. So you can clearly know that this is in progress. As you created subtasks for that, you can minimize this. This is one story, this is one story, and this is one story. 5 pointer, 3, 1, and 1 we already moved it here, right? If you move it back, then you can pull it back to do. So you can simply move it to the different sections. Now, daily stand-ups. When you are working in Agile Scrum, you will have daily stand-ups, so that all the team members will meet for 15 minutes, maybe in the morning or afternoon, any time in a day, and they have to give the status on what's happening. Okay, so your Scrum Master will open this board and then he will initiate that stand-up call. So everyone has to look at this board and say that what are they are working on. For example, if I'm working on this story number 3, I say that, hey, the story number 3, which I just moved into in progress, that is what I'm working on today, and by end of the day tomorrow, I'm going to move it to the done. That's my update. And another person will give his update that, hey, I'm picking on story number 7, that's an in progress. So your Scrum Master can look at this board and may ask the questions to the team. Okay, so he may ask this, why this is not yet picked? This is in to do status. As per priority, this should come the first to pick, right? Why no developer has picked it? And there should be an answer by someone why they have done that. If you feel that is correct, he may suggest you to do that in your stand-up call. And if you are done completing this story, then you can move it to the done, so that it's completed. Okay, you see that it got striked, and the next day when again stand-up happens, you can update that, hey, story number 7 is done, and your Scrum Master can look and say that good, that you have completed the story. We have still 1 in progress, we have 1 in to do, and we have 9 days remaining. Are we good for this sprint? This is what a question may get from your Scrum Master. Okay, so basically they will see this board and initiate the discussion, like how many we committed for the sprint, how many are done, how many are in progress, how many we have not yet touched. That's part of to do. Okay, so this is active sprint tab where you can come and track your progress. And again, if you go back to backlog, you see that this got striked because we moved it to the done status. Okay, so either you can move the story status from the board, but this is not recommended. You ideally have to open the story and then you have to change the status in the story, not here. But even this is a shortcut where you can quickly move that, but there is a way to do that instead of simply pulling it. Okay, so before I go that, I hope you are clear with that how this active sprint board works. Simple, 3 steps: to do, in progress, and done. And let's go back to backlog and let's say that this is the story. or yeah, edit boxes. Let me pick this because we have neatly groomed this story end to end, right? Okay, so development is done. So once the development is completed, that particular person has to mark it as done, right? And when tester start this, and he has to mark it as done, and everyone who complete their task should mark it as a done. So once all the tasks are done, you can come here. And one thing, by the time you started working on this, when you touch this story, just click on this link in progress, so that will move to in progress window. Okay, once all the subtasks are done, that means story is successfully completed. You will demo this to your product owner. Okay, you will not directly click on the done button. Product owner will look into your developed feature, and he will see if he is able to satisfy all the acceptance criteria development. Okay, if they feel that this is completely done, and product owner will do by their self, or will ask that particular team QA person to close this story. Okay, developer should not close this story. Ideally, either product owner QA has to sign off on this story, but you need to demo to your product owner, and that's ideally done by QA. It's QA job to actually show all this implementation to product owner, and then they can click on this done. That's it. If you follow this process, automatically in your active sprint board, that will move into the done. You see that? But is that moved? Oh, it's moved. All the three tasks. Okay, you see that all the three have moved it to the done. As I created subtasks, so it's coming like this. Okay, right. So one is done, two are done, and one in progress, one in to-do status. You can still go and work on it, and this is how it happens in real time. You work on that, you update the status accordingly, and you come to your stand-up calls, Scrum calls, which happen daily, and you tell that what you have done, and all that should be tracked in Jira. Okay, you see how beauty the Jira is. Everything what you are working, you are tracking on the Jira. And you can clearly see that for this task is done. Let's say automation is not done, move back it to in progress. And everyone clearly knows that, oh, automation is still pending. Apart from that, development is done, manual testing is done. So you will know everything of how your team is performing in one single board. You see that this board has been updated. Refresh. Yep. Okay, so Scrum Master facilitates the stand-up calls, and he will look into the board, and based upon that, people has to update, and he will also have his questions by looking at the board. Okay, so that's how your workflow works when you are working on a story. So let's move everything to done. You can either move it from here or go back to your test. Let me do it from test. So assuming that your sprint is started after the sprint planning, and you guys are rigorously working. In progress and done. Good. Done. So all the stories are done. Good. Nice. Refresh the board, and you will see that everything moved into the done status. Perfect. Nothing left in to do. Oh, but automation is the only thing which is in progress. So let's finish that as well. I'm just showing you how to play around with all these Jira tools. Okay. What all features you have with Jira and how to play with this. And also parallelly, I'm explaining you how all this work in real time when you work in Scrum project. You see that I'm teaching you the Scrum practices, and parallelly I'm also teaching how to implement all these Scrum practices in Jira tool. And this is required for every software engineer in your agile team. So no matter you are QA or dev, though this course is specifically designed for a QA perspective, okay, but this knowledge, even if you are developer or QA, you have to know this. Okay, just do not assume that I'm a QA, do I really need this? Yes, you need this. If you are part of Scrum team, no matter you are QA or development, You have to go through all this process. You may work on QA part, manual testing and automation, but ultimately you have to know this process, right? Grooming process you have to know, and how to work with sprint planning, how to create a stories, how to move the tasks. Though you are a tester, you should have ability to understand this Scrum process, understand this Jira software, and to play accordingly, isn't it? Ultimately you are testing, but you have to go through all this process. If not, you will be clearly exposed that you do not have any prior experience. So this knowledge, these tools, these videos, whatever I am providing you will really help you to go through this process, and I'm pretty sure that you need not learn anywhere outside. If you watch and complete this section, you are good. You can happily be part of Scrum team, and you can play with this Jira tool on Scrum framework. That's the assurance I'm giving. All right. So yep, we have successfully completed all the stories. Good. Within single 10 minutes, we have completed all the stories, though 9 days is remaining. All right. So in the next lecture, let's click on this complete script. What happens once the sprint is ended? How do we track the reports? How do we see performance of the sprint and all? Okay. That I'll be showing you in the next lecture. Okay. So we have done this topics, daily stand-ups, and how story will undergo different status and get closed. So we'll look into the reports in the next lecture. Thank you guys.